So it's December now, and we're in the final month of 2023, and what a wild year this has been. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, everything else and in between. Especially whenever you take in consideration the amount of platforms that have existed, that have shut their doors, that have come about and now popped up, and just how crazy live streaming has become. Um, it's, to say the least, been very, very crazy. Also, credit to my wife for tagging me into this one in on a post a little bit ago. Now on Facebook, and I'll have this article and everything up on the description later. But for the most part, there's an article that or not an article, but a post that Stack Up had put out on their Facebook, and on November 30th they had gone and published it. And I break down as to what it means for gaming and streaming for me, as well as the different games. And there's about 5 different categories that I associate with. One, Escape from Tarkov being that realistic shooter, looter, the survivalistic simulators. It's more of a slowed down instead of that go 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 type mentality where you could just chill and relax and everything else. Then you have your MMORPGs and your RPGs and your AR and JRPGs, like those style games like Diablo, um, Final Fantasy Online, Valheim, New World, stuff like that, where you coordinate as a team to complete that objective. Like stuff like that, I love. And like I've said, I prided myself on being variety and everything like that. Destiny is one of those games that's just, it's been around for 10 years and actually longer, I think. But it's just always allowed people to be in control of just about anything when you can team up with, between, 2 others go to a strike or a dungeon, or, 5 other people making a 16 total, a 6-man team total to go do some harder content like raids or master level stuff. Or and yeah, I got people popping up over on Steam, where people can essentially go and accomplish whatever they want. And then the RTS games, and I'm going to speak about one that I've really 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 have enjoyed, especially with the being in beta and stuff. The RTS genres, the real time strategy, where you get that command and control, where you can control every aspect. Like I said, this it's worth a read. It's like a 5 minute read. It's just my take on streaming and gaming, especially with how long I've been doing this, and I'm not stopping or slowing down anytime soon, despite one individual's best efforts. And if you've been by the channel and you started hearing me just say some randomness to some individual person, that's the person that's been stalking and harassing me for the past 3.5+ years. I'm handling it within the realm that I'm allowed to handle it and everything else. And it's slow process, but nothing happens overnight, so to speak. Everything happens at its own pace. Like take when you get an idea for a game and you present it to programs and stuff and everything else. Before you ask this, probably just allergies or something. I don't know. Like, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, it's aggravating. I want to scratch it, but I know if I do, I'll just probably get infected and stuff. But anyways, you take the concept of a game and you want to turn it into an actual game. Well, you got to go through so much coding and programming of everything. Then you got to go through all the bugs and all the scripts and everything else. Am I a coder? No, but I've been around, the block, and I've asked a couple devs and a couple gamers, these questions, and they've given me the aspects as what goes into a game. Go through codes, you go through the breakdown on like what bugs need to go away. Then you run through your QA before actually going through developmental process, and then your 3D designers and your artists and your like coordinators and stuff like that. All of that taken aside, when you finally roll it out and you present it to the gamers, that's whenever it's gonna really hit its mark. That's why we have technical tests, then your alphas, then your betas, and then the release, and early access and stuff. It plays a factor, and everything else. So it's been fun seeing some games go from early access to their tech tests and then their alpha tests and now beta. One game I want to touch on, and I'm not sponsored, I'm not getting paid by them or anything of this nature, and I'll have that in the description as well. Silica. Silica takes place on the world Balturs or Balteus, or however you want to pronounce the planet. It takes the concept of the first person shooter and real-time strategy and molds it together. Meaning you can go command and control, build up the base and everything. Or you can assume the role of any unit that is on the field, or just go infantry mode and go from there. It is by far one of the better, more unique concepts that I've seen. The only other game I can think of to this nature was Command and Conquer Renegade. But Renegade didn't have that whole build the base aspect. It was more frontline first person. And I played about 2 or 3 hours. The pace is a little slow. I'm hoping that there's a way we can increase the game speed and go from them. Go from there. There's a couple things that I need to test some more with the game before giving my full feedback on it. But so far, I like it. So that's in of itself good. Another game that I love, which is the 4X. Explore, exploit, expand, exterminate. Stellaris. And you can have up to 32 people in one game. I'm going to check to see if there's like a server setting or, something that we can have where it's stable. Instead of having one person host, and if they crash, it's gone from there. Anyways, that's the gaming and streaming aspect of, things that I've been going through. And obviously with Call of Duty, and I'm gonna speaking of COD, this newer Modern Warfare 3. The zombie mode is fun, the multiplayer shit. Because when you have people who run around with a riot shield and throwing knife, and you can't destroy the riot shield, but it's supposed to be balanced, right? But you can't destroy the riot shield. But the deployable cover you can destroy, right? I don't understand why they're trying to make it more realistic when those riot shields are not anti-everything. As I even showed on stream, and I got a recording of it. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube as well, and I'm also gonna link it as well. And be like, you want this more realistic, but you got something so absurd as a basic riot shield, no skins, no mods, nothing. A basic riot shield that can withstand a 50 caliber rifle, which is classified as anti-material, which everything in that game is material. I fail to see how you're trying to make it more realistic, but at the same time missing the mark. I don't get it. I just do not get it. Now, when it comes to the world events and everything going on, and me seeing all this other crap that's been happening. I find it hysterical that people will go and defend somebody who is expelled from the United States Congress, who is a Republican from New York. Now, I don't identify as Republican or Democrat or, libertarian or socialist, conservative, ideologue, blah, blah, blah. I identify as an individual, informed American who will make his own statements and his own stuff based on my own opinion of what's given. I don't take everything at face value, but what I will do is I'll take everything that I see and make my own determination, which I expect everybody to do the same thing instead of blindly following somebody. On top of that, George Santos using campaign funds to go on lavish trips, a bunch of other crap, and everything within there. So all of his stuff that happened and everything that happened within it. I'm just gonna say when you spend your campaign funds on on OnlyFans, bro, you got your priorities mixed. And I know what the initial purpose of OnlyFans was. It was not for the adult content or anything like that and everything and blah 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 blah. But people turned it into that. Mainly the hot tub streamers who were getting, ostracized on Twitch and couldn't do any of that crap anymore and all the other stuff. But when you are a elected representative of your district, of your state, and you're using those campaign funds on stuff like that, dude, you have no business being nowhere near any political event ever again. And that's across the board. Before anybody sits there and tries to say, oh, well, you have a... No, I do not. I do not. I have no need. I got an amazing wife that I've been with for, 20 plus years, and me and her have been married for over 16. Why would I need somebody else's shit to make me happy? But going back to the matter at hand with the whole political sphere, everybody's sitting here basically drawing that fine, razor thin line right in the sand now, especially with the election coming up next year. Make your own decisions, make them well. Do not try to ostracize those who vote or who do not agree with you. Like, I don't agree with everything that everybody says. I respect them, as wild as they may be. I respect some of the crap that they say. But I'm not going to sit here and say, you're wrong, I'm right. Now, if they're sitting there trying to say something that they are blatantly wrong on, such as, oh, well, the top part of the K bar is the sharpest part. No, it's not. You can actually take a knife, the K bar, which stands for knife, Browning automatic rifle. The top part's blunt, bottom part is the blade. Now it depends on how they look at it. If they have the blade pointing up, that's the top, and the blunt is the bottom. But if they say that smooth edge is the like that smooth flat edge is the sharpest, they're wrong. They can believe it all day long, but they're wrong. When you show them that they are wrong, and you're trying to cut it with, you're trying to cut a piece of paper with it, and then you flip it over and you use the blade, that's whenever they understand that, oh, I am wrong. This is right. Same thing as you can write with this pen with from here. I just said something that's completely wrong. This ain't a pen, this is a marker. There ain't no way I can write with this. Case in point, paper, right? Nothing's happening. As a sure line. When you show the avenue of what needs to be done and how it's done, on top of when you show the avenue of correctly disproving people, that's whenever you can come to a common agreement. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and try to debate people on their own opinions. I won't. What I will debate people on is whether or not it's factual or unfactual. That is what I will debate people on all day long. Like some people say, the movie Napoleon Dynamite's a good movie. Okay, well they can be correct in that. However, I don't find it good. It put my ass to sleep multiple times. It was boring. That's my opinion. All right. But it's just a matter of, everything else in perspective. Speaking of perspective, oh man, I forget the publisher, but they basically only got one side of this kid's face that was painted red and black. They got only the black side and said NFL needs to speak up about the blackface without going through any other stuff that's going on, and without going through any other type of factual, argument that they could do. They didn't question the family. They didn't question the kid, and it's a kid, and they labeled him as a racist blackface. They didn't question anything of it. They just said he painted his face black in his blackface, and it's wrong. Well, how'd they stopped and taken 2 minutes without even publishing the article? They would have seen that his face was, painted right in half, red and black. He had the headdress and Chiefs attire on. People could say, oh, that's cultural appropriation. His grandfather is a tribal chief. Is that cultural appropriation now? Because you have somebody who's wearing the headdress and also supporting their lineage? Or are you saying that the article and the publisher in question fucked up because the article and publisher in question royally fucked up? I'd have to find it, but I'm gonna like whenever I find it, I'll link that as well. There's a couple things I'm gonna do that I need to link. Also, you can search this one. Normally, I don't even touch on the music scene, but two items, actually three. One being Taylor Swift. Whether or not you think she's a good artist or so is your own opinion. But I'm telling you, whenever you are successful in transcending multiple genres of music and you're able to take and re-record all of your previously produced stuff from your shitty former label and become the number one on Spotify globally, and you're my age, my hat's off to you. I had this little debate with somebody about who was better, Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus. I'm going to tell you straightforward. Anything and everything that I've heard from Taylor Swift, my wife listens to her a lot. I do not detect any bit of autotune. Miley Cyrus, on the other hand, anything and everything I've heard, I can pick it up like that. I can hear the autotune. I have a very, very specific way I like to enjoy music. I cannot stand autotune. I've already hit the two factors in that one aspect. The third one that kind of caught me off guard is Five Finger Death Punch's Burn Motherfucker featuring Rob Zombie. When I found that out, because I was dealing with tinnitus and ringing in my, like, more here instead of ears. I had that on repeat and played it like 10, 11, 12, 13, umpteenth, extra, 11 times. Shout out to Psycho Players for that word. And everything else. But you can hear a difference within it. But no, like, I love hearing, difference in music. Minus mumble rap. I cannot stand mumble rap. And everything, like that as well. Now, kind of like a little crisis situation going on with the world. Still got the crap between Russia and Ukraine, and you got the shit going on between Hamas and the Palestinian people who are supporting Hamas and Israel. I'm not going to touch on those. That's not what I'm going on. The other world crisis going on is this new pneumonia pandemic that came, and I'm almost certain it came from China, where the coronavirus came from. But people are starting to say, oh, it's from the side effects of the vaccine. Whether or not you got vaccine, it's your own business. I did not. I'm fine. Because I know what it's like to take an untested vaccine. Cough, cough, anthrax. But make your own decisions and make them informed as well. Don't just go by the masses. Do your own stuff. Make sure you are well informed. Because when you become well informed and you understand everything that's going on, your horizons are broadened and you're able to make those decisions for yourself. Not because anybody else said anything, but for you and you alone. Be informed. That's the only thing that you need. That's the only thing. Without it, you're just a talking face. Without any type of facts, any type of, basic, basis for argumentative sakes, you don't necessarily have the ability to make those opinions for yourself. That other people make them for you. And when other people make them for you, you lose your ability to speak freely. And you lose your ability to think for yourself. That's not me. And I'll be damned if I'm about to tell something different. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, stay undefeated. And always have an undefeated mindset. Peace!